Happy holiday episode. We want to keep this light with love and laugh. And, we want to just kind of wrap up the year. This is episode 40 for us. I cannot believe it, Cheese.
I
40
know.
episodes. Can you
I
believe
know.
that?
That's absolutely insane if you think about 52 weeks in a year and 40 episodes, and we only started in May,
I
right?
know.
It's kind of
I know.
crazy.
And look at us like we're experts, right?
Not
No,
at
but
all.
I'm having a great time. It's been such a ride, and this is season 1, and we're gonna roll into season 2. So we decided, hey, let's just do a quick audio podcast for the holidays. And so, geez, I don't know. Do we want to just kick off? We're going to ask each other a couple little questions and go back and forth. This is a busy time of the season for everybody. People are out shopping and they're the hustle and the bustle. Getting their white elephant gift exchange. They're buying stuff at the grocery store to make a fantastic dinner for family and friends. So you know what? Let's just make this light.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm definitely gonna say as far as how I'm feeling today, like in terms of, holiday stress level. I think, that I had this foot surgery unexpectedly on Friday and then have another one on Wednesday. So I am like down for the count. And imagine like decorating. I really have not had any chance to decorate, so I'm not gonna be able to decorate this year. And I can definitely order stuff from Amazon and wrap stuff, but it's definitely a little bit of a different holiday kind of season for me. I will get to spend time with my kids and Jason and his family and my parents and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to that, but it is a little hectic being kind of a gimp.
Well, I
And
look at it this way from a positive perspective. You are a go-getter. You're always on the go, and this is the universe, God, spiritually, or however you want to look at it. Life's telling you, let's just slow down.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
I
And
actually invited. Like I have no FOMO. I'm not the only thing I have FOMO is like not being able to play ping pong right now. That's like that's not good for the home team right now. But like I've got my stuff going on, but you've got your stuff going on
oh my
too,
gosh,
right?
yeah,
Like
talk
how
about
is your
holiday stress level. Yeah,
yeah, let's talk your holiday.
my stress level is 14 years where I'm at here, and now I'm moving back in my shit, and I'm moving to Dixon. From Walnut Creek to Dixon, to a new home, right? We've been talking a little bit about that on previous podcasts, so I'm excited about the new home, the new move, and my goal is to try to put up a tree. The final move from where I'm at in Walnut Creek is the 19th. Everything should be in the new house, and so I
That's
think
8 days from now, by the way.
trust me, I'm counting. So that's the stress level, right?
Yeah.
My son's right now catching a train ride to come back home, and he voluntarily willing to help me do like the today and tomorrow and the next day over the weekend, help me move some of the smaller stuff, and
Yeah.
then prep for the bigger stuff, which will be the 19th when I hired some movers to do that. So I will survive this. It's just being a person that has to have, like, the checklist and everything done. You're like me, Cheese, that whole thing, it's a stress level, right? So and Christmas shopping, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, it's not just the decorating, it's all the stuff, and by the way, I mean, what a gift your son is giving you. Like, packing up is not fun, especially when you've lived somewhere for 14 years. I've been there, done that, and, it's like you think, "Oh, yeah, I've got this great game plan," but stuff just keeps coming, and so I wish you the best the next week, and I definitely am so happy to hear that you've got the support of your son.
Yes, I'm
That's
very
the
excited
biggest
about
gift.
that.
That's the biggest gift
To
ever.
me, that's the gift, right? If I don't get
All
a
right.
tree up, that's okay, right?
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
the gift. This is the gift. Me being able to afford to purchase a home, being a homeowner,
Oh,
doing it on my own, that's the gift. And that frickin' refrigerator.
yeah, I know
I'm
you're all
saying,
about that fridge.
oh, my
I'm so
refrigerator. I
jealous.
cannot wait. I'm jealous of myself
Are you gonna, like, invite the fridge on to, like, be one of our guests? I
to
feel
do it. Yeah.
just kidding.
No, no, no. Yeah, but internet gets turned on Friday, so that's
Oh,
tomorrow.
that's
So,
exciting.
girl, we'll be doing our next podcast from my new home.
So we're basically we're festive, but we're mostly just functioning right now, both of us, like, with our
Yeah,
little
like, a lot of us got have a lot of stress going on.
but
Yeah,
but
a
I
lot of
love
us out
being
there.
I love being grateful and thankful for what we do have, like you with your home. Me, I'm gonna have better feet on the other side of these surgeries.
Watch out,
And
pickleballers. She's gonna come in
oh
with some new feet.
my gosh, it's and you know what? Especially, I have to say, what's been incredible is the support I've gotten from my friends and family. Like, Tony
That's
sent me a
awesome.
sweet little gift, a little kind of candle and water glass, so cute, little decor. I loved that little gift, and then I've got my friend Nicole, she picked me up from surgery. My friend Amy dropped me off. Nicole got us some
That's awesome.
burritos and got me comfortable around my house. My son showed up like nobody's business, literally catered to
Awesome.
me along with
Go
my friend
Aiden.
Dave. Yeah, Aiden and my friend Dave. Dave came to visit for the weekend, not knowing that he was gonna be a caretaker. Literally went grocery shopping, picked up, some groceries that I didn't have, and then cooked. Both
Dave,
of
you're the
Aiden
man. I don't know you, but you're the man.
Dave is amazing. Aiden was amazing. And then now I'm just recovering at my friend Nicole's house for the next couple of days. And then my parents are coming to town to take me to my next surgery and just cater to all my needs. And my daughter has been checking in. She's been studying at ASU her finals. It's just what it comes down to is my friend Melissa came over and helped me tidy up some stuff and, fold some
That's awesome.
laundry and put some clean some stuff up. It's just like I feel so blessed, lucky, whatever you want to call it, that I have the people in my life who I have.
That's the gift
And
for both you and I right now,
oh
right?
my gosh,
Is
yes.
the family and the friends that come around and show up when you need it. Festive wise, blessed for the opportunities that we have. You with the healthcare to be able to provide yourself the surgery that you need, and the people, family and friends that are there to support you. Same for me. Having the ability to be able to afford a home that's a privilege, right?
And
And then
you're moving so that you can be
closer to my
closer to your
family,
mom and your sister and her
and my
husband and
family will be there to show up, and my
nieces and
son.
stuff.
Yeah, so everything we've got. So festive rate level stress is a little high, but the love is even higher.
Okay, so along the lines of the holidays and loved ones and that sort of thing, is there anything kind of small that gets you in the holiday mood? For me, the music,
Music for
absolutely. Yeah, I
sure.
love putting the music on. Obviously decorating, which I don't get to do right now very much, but we do we just do Christmas jammies usually the night of Christmas. That's your Christmas Eve gift.
Mhm.
And then, everybody puts on their Christmas jammies. I love kinda little traditions like that, just kinda put me in the mood, but music, Addie will put music on, literally, it'll be Black Friday, and it's time, right?
Yep. Music for sure. And then, when we did the cringing when you're with what you're binging?
Uh-huh.
My Hallmark movies in the background.
I love that. That's
So,
so
yeah, that's
awesome.
been on dial. Been on every single
I need
day
to
in the
I need to get some of
background.
those I need to get some of those going. I've been watching, like, FBI,
My
like,
god, man,
solve the crime.
I cannot wait. It starts during Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm playing the whole holiday in the background, and sometimes I sit and watch it, and then, sometimes I'm just listening to it as I'm doing things around the house, and, I love the festive feeling. I love the love and the cheesiness about it. So,
Yeah.
cringing what you're binging.
Yeah, yeah.
So, that we talked about that. So, my Hallmark stuff, for sure, for sure.
The other thing I will have to say that I'm remiss that I've been I can't even think how many years. I discovered this guy, um, Brent, who does his family used to do, Christmas lights and Disney and stuff like that. And so he was raised learning kind of all the, electronic lighting and that sort of thing for Christmas. And I can't remember where I originally met him, but he has been doing my holiday lights on the outside of my house
Cool.
for years. And while I can't decorate the inside of my home, he did come on Monday. He's so busy now. It's hard to get him. Like I have to book him way ahead of time. But during the Christmas season, he comes and just decorates people's homes, and I had him do the lighting and the trees, and I have cacti, so it's kinda cool to see them all lit up, and he
That is
just puts it on a
awesome.
timer, and it just
Yeah.
looks so cool. So,
I love
as
Christmas
far as getting
lights.
me in the mood, I love having the music, and I love having the lights and decorating if I can.
Yeah, no, I like all those things too, and I love the lights. Let's get some cocoa. Let's go drive around the neighborhood. Let's find the places that are, the homes that are really lit up. I haven't done that in a while, and this year won't happen necessarily just because of the whole move. But next year, 2026 is gonna be on.
Yeah. I actually, since I don't have many places to go, I might just have my family drive me around. That might be a nice little
Well,
outing
that
for
would be
me.
a good one. Have Aiden
Yeah.
drive you.
Yeah, seriously. And the other thing is that though I'm still it's not like I have a few events that I'm going to. I'm going to Drunk Shakespeare out
What's
here,
that?
which is hilarious. It's where the actors quote unquote drink and then they perform Shakespeare, but this one's going to be a holiday one, so I'm taking
That's
Nicole, Jason and
fun.
Jesse.
That sounds
Oh my gosh, and then
awesome.
I'm going to a comedian with Aiden. So the good news is I get to use a wheelchair for my foot, and we're going to get special seats and great parking. So,
You're gonna get a little privilege, like,
oh, I got a
"Oh,
little
my foot,"
privilege.
little
Yeah,
handicap sticker.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But you know what? The other thing I wanted to say that like warms my heart when it comes to like a holiday memories and traditions and that sort of thing is Jason's family. They make this. They make this. His mom makes this coffee cake for
Oh,
Christmas morning. It
mhm.
is to die for. So we've just kind of inherited that. Like we have taken over that tradition. So the jammies on Christmas Eve, you wake up and then you have that coffee cake in the morning, and it is to die for, delicious. So I'm excited for us to do it this year too.
Awesome.
What about you? Do you guys have any kind of holiday traditions or memories that like
Well, you know what we do typically, we do the games.
oh,
We get together and we do games. We'll either do funny karaoke. I think I mentioned before, we like to do the Alexa game where we try to get Alexa to say a word without saying it. And I've got a couple new games that I'm going to try out. But yeah, game night, definitely for sure. And one of the things I do personally have a tradition by myself is I watch Family Stone every year without passing. I love Family Stone. Have you seen the movie?
not seen that movie
Girl,
that I can think of. I'm
you
gonna write it down.
got to watch it.
I like your game night ideas.
Yes.
You know me, I'm big on game night, and I've never played the Alexa game. So, this what is it? The Holiday Stone,
No, it's called The Family Stone.
the
Like,
Family Stone. Okay.
yes, Sarah Jessica Parker's in it. Gosh, I'm terrible with names. Also, not Owen, but Luke Wilson's in it. There's multiple, different actors and actresses that are really well known. It is a fantastic movie. You've gotta watch it, and they're
Oh,
also talking about what's the lady that just passed away? Oh my gosh,
Betty
she,
White.
no, Betty White passed a while ago. A more recent one, she played in, Something's Got to Give. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, she's in this movie, and they're talking about doing a sequel, because she does pass away, in the movie itself. I might have blown it for you on that, but, they talk about this throughout the movie anyways, but she is actually, they're making I think a sequel to this movie, but it's called Family Stone.
Oh, Diane Keaton.
Diane Keaton. Yes, she's in the movie. I mean, there's a lot of well-known actors and actresses in this movie. And the guy that played the main guy from, My Best Friend's Wedding, he's in it. Like, they're just you have to watch the movie. Like, geez, seriously, now that you're, like, kinda down for the count, you just pop in some popcorn, a little cocoa, and pop on the Family Stone, and you will call me later and tell me what you think about it.
Love it. I wonder if I've seen it. I just, you know me, I can't remember anything
But you
these
would
days.
remember it. You would totally remember it. Yeah. It makes you laugh, it makes you cry. It's one of those.
Oh, I
Um,
love that.
I
So,
love those
okay,
kind
so
of
we've
movies.
talked about the things that kinda, like, make us, kinda,
Happy,
like,
but what about the stuff we
have
pretend
yeah,
to enjoy?
what stresses you out? Like, what is there anything that, like, stresses you out during holidays? I mean, obviously, moving during the holidays or being
Yeah, that
injured during the
part. Yeah, that's
holiday is not
unusual though,
let's
right?
put
That's
that aside.
unusual.
Yeah, like, in
Yeah.
general, I get stressed out about, the gift giving part of it, like, I wanna g it's for me, I think I've told you this before, I like giving experience gifts, something where I took my kids to Post Malone, that was their Christmas gift last year,
That's awesome.
and I give them the tickets on Christmas, and then, we didn't actually even go to Post Malone until June, but just spending time with my kids is magic, so I'm always looking for great experience ideas, but I always stress about the spending, how much to spend,
Gosh, yeah. Yeah.
and also making sure that everyone feels the right amount of love for how I feel about them, right? Like, I never want anyone to feel, that I didn't put thought into it, that sort of thing, but what is there anything that stresses you out around the holidays in general?
I really don't it's so funny, other than the normal stressors, like, let me get it wrapped, let me get it shopped. But so for me, I would say 99% of my gift giving is all done online. I very rarely go to a store. I don't even do that anymore. Unless I need to get something like a gift card or something, right? I'll go in and get that. But I don't really have other than the normal stresses of, hey, getting the gift, make sure it's wrapped, and then getting it to the person, that part, those are the stressors for me. Most of the time, I'm always going to somebody else's house, so they have the stress that I don't have. But going forward, maybe my place could be a place that I will, host, going forward, and so then maybe I'll have that different stress going into next year. But, for the most part, I just wanna enjoy my Hallmark movies, and my my music and my online shopping, smile, and have it delivered to me.
Yeah,
So,
I
I
do
don't really
online.
yeah,
Addie's I don't really enjoy going out shopping. Addie
me
likes doing
either.
that, and she said that Black Friday is not nearly as bad as it used to be because I think so many people do the online shopping now.
Interesting.
Yeah, but, like,
Yeah.
I would say the only other stress I feel is just, like, I really enjoy putting up a tree and, playing the music and having my family around while we do it. Like, Aiden's not necessarily the one who wants to he likes it, but Addie will help, decorate the tree and that sort of stuff. I'd say I my future stressor is taking down the tree, just, when am I gonna have time to
Gosh.
do it? Oh my gosh,
That
it's
is
like
you hit the nail on the head right there. That part is I pretend to like that, but I don't like it at all. Putting the tree away. Okay, so if you got for me, ROI, I get the artificial tree, but, I do remember, buying the fresh tree and all the pine needles everywhere. Ugh, I hate that part. Getting rid of the
Yeah,
pine needle. You find it like you're in June, like, "Oh, shit, it's bedded in the carpet somewhere." But you find that pine needles that you haven't gotten. So the
yeah,
putting away everything is not
yeah,
so fun.
yeah.
Nobody wants to really help.
I totally agree. That is and it's thinking it's like timing, like, okay, alright, is it March and it's too late? Because 'Cause I'm like, "Ugh, I gotta do it," but, like, there's so many other things that I need to be doing, and yeah, and I love the part, though, that you said you try to, like it's almost like, um drinking water and telling myself, "Yeah, this is a nice glass of wine." Or, like, I try to tell my kids all the time, "Put music on, like, blast music when you're doing chores because then you
Yes.
can kind of at least, like, have some joy in a chore." So I love the fact that you're saying that, but it definitely, I begrudgingly I'm thinking sometimes almost like camping, you're putting up the tent, "Oh, that's fun, but we gotta take this thing down in a couple days," like,
Yeah,
So,
totally.
it's
That
nice that Thanksgiving falls on a longer weekend, like, you have more days to kinda knock out some of the initial shopping and getting the decorations out and that sort of thing, but
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So, I don't really have anybody in my family. You and I were talking about who in your family is the funniest and who's always the one that's the most chaotic person in the families for the holidays and, aunties, cousins, and partners or whatever, your kids. I don't really have anybody necessarily, but, I would say if I was local to living with you, you're probably one of the funniest people I know.
aw, that's sweet. I would say that not everybody necessarily agrees with you on that. Oh, that's sweet of you to say. I actually would say, I don't have any really chaotic family members.
Yeah,
Everybody's really happy, and I love whenever I can be with my brother and his family. It's great. Like, it's tough because they both are, working and their kids are off in college now. So it's just coordinating all of us getting together when we're all over the, US is a little bit chaotic.
it
As
is.
far as like my dad is obviously very chipper and
Jack
um,
cheese.
Jack Cheese, he's always playful and fun, but no, I don't think there's anybody that's chaotic. There's no drunkles, like nothing
Yeah.
no one sitting at the table just like, being chaotic or anything like that.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. I mean, one of the things I am looking forward to though, this year, now that I'll be closer to my family, is checking out to see if Candy Cane Lane is still up and running. I gotta find out. There's this little part of the town in Vacaville that has Candy Cane Lane, so every home in that court, and it's probably I would say about like 20 homes. Everybody kind of tries to outdo each other in their decorating, and you can actually get out of your car and walk around the neighborhood. And I enjoy doing that kind of stuff. That's may sound a little random, but it's kind of fun to get in the spirit. And I
Yeah.
think do you guys like doing stuff like that?
I mean, we'll go around. Like, how we were talking about, like, maybe going and driving around and seeing the lights in the nice neighborhoods in sections where it's almost like you wanna donate a little cash because of their electric bill. It's so, grandiose and fabulous, but I'm kind of excited because this year I'm getting some gifts for my kids, and one of them is, at the Phoenix Zoo, they're having lights, and, it's a light show with music, and the music that
Cool.
it's almost like, I wanna say orchestra music, but they're playing one of my gifts is to my friend Amber, and it's like a hip hop one where they're doing the orchestra at the
Cool.
Phoenix Zoo and the lighting and stuff like that to, like, hip hop. And Addie loves Queen, so I got her tickets to go see the same thing, but, like, with Queen as the orchestrated
Nice.
music, so I think
That's
that's
a
gonna be
great idea that they do
really
that, you know what I mean?
yeah,
That is
I
a
love
fantastic
yeah, I
idea.
love looking at, like I said, experience gifts, but I feel like we've touched on a lot of our questions. Do you wanna do our quick fire holiday fun? Like, most of the questions that we've got lined up, I think we've kind of answered in our others.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Okay,
I that's fine, we could do that, but can I ask you a little bit about childhood when you were younger? Like, things that you can remember that you're more nostalgic or funny things that happened when you were younger? Like, for
sure.
example, when I was a little kid, I'm the middle one, I'm the troublemaker, and I was the one that discovered that my parents were Santa Claus when I think I was probably maybe 7. And I heard some noise downstairs. So I peeked down the stairs and I see my mom and dad trying to put together a Barbie house. And they're like, no, this goes this way and that way. And I was like, I knew it. I found out that they were Santa. And then I blew it for the rest of the family and told my sisters that
How
they
old were
were
you?
I think I was 7.
Oh
I
my
believe I was 7.
gosh.
Yes. Do you remember any of that kind of stuff?
Okay, I am so
How old were you
okay.
when you found out you didn't believe in
I
Santa?
I'm so glad you brought this up because a couple of things. Okay, first of all, for me, and then I wanna talk my kids. For me, I was 12 years old, and Stacy Husted, who, I grew up with in Saudi Arabia. Stacy Husted was the one who ruined Santa for me, and I was so mad. I was 12. That she ruined it. I harbored a grudge until I saw her at a reunion. We're literally adults. I wanna say this was within the last 3 years, and I finally I didn't wanna tell her, but I like, there was a side of me that was just like, I wanted to tell her grandkids. Like, I was so still
You
bitter.
wanted to get her back?
So bitter. I wasn't really gonna, like, ruin it for her grandkids, but I was just like, just mad, and I finally told her, and she gave me the biggest hug, and she was
Oh.
so sorry, and I was like I felt so
Well,
awful,
how did
like,
she tell you? Like, how did she what did she say? Or
she
how'd it
just told
happen?
she I don't remember exactly what she said. I just remember that, like, she told me that Santa was not real, and it was the first time it wasn't the first time I was hearing it, but I was able to recover from any other times. This was however she said deliver the message, it was factual, and finally it dawned on me at 12 years old, right? Like, you were 7? Like, I was 12. My parents held it for me for 12. Now cut to my kids went to, um International School of Arizona. So this is like a immersion school for 8 years, and all of the parents are really engaged, lovely families. I'm still friends with many, many, many of the parents that we met, from the time that Aiden was, like, 2, 3, and Addie was, like, 4 or 5. Like, that's when they started, and they went for 8 years at this, immersion school where they learned like, they basically learned Spanish. But anyway, these parents are all of us were very cognizant of, like, not wanting anybody to ruin it for anybody else, right? And so, our kids really knew, like, a lot longer than, most kids, I would say. I'm gonna say my kids were probably equally about 12 when they found out, which I thought was kind of shocking because I thought 12 was kind of old for me to find out, but this is the cool part. I had found this letter, and I'm gonna share it with you, so we can attach it to like a link to the letter itself, but I found this thing where you could kind of tell your kids about Santa, and the way that it's delivered is basically like Santa does exist. Santa is magic. Magic is there, and now you're a part of the magic. So it's not like your parents lied to you. It's not like there's any deceit. It's now you're a part of this amazing tradition where you get to like spread this joy. That just makes me
Yeah.
so.
That's awesome.
And
Yeah.
in both cases, like Addison, I think she was questioning the tooth fairy. She'd found teeth, and so we knew, "Oh god, once you start with the tooth fairy and then, the Easter bunny,
Chip away. The poor Easter bunny
ultimately,
gets it
it's
next.
all destroyed." But, like, what's nice about the letters is, like, you're a part of the magic, so it doesn't make them compelled to go tell other kids because they wanna be part of the other kids' joy. So we made Addison and Aiden discovered it a different way, but we made them both read their letter that we wrote to them, and we captured it on film.
Well,
And
that's
it was the
great.
most precious thing. Now, Aiden was more teary about it than Addie. Addie was more, like, reserved about the news, but I just loved it, and Addie helped Aiden. She's a year and a half older, so she helped Aiden get to, feel the joy. And then one of my least favorite traditions was moving those stupid fucking elves every
Well,
night,
the
and, like,
no, first of all, there's
ah,
okay, I'm gonna say something about that. You finish what you're gonna say, and then I'll
I
say something.
was like, I can remember posting on Facebook the joy of, like, having the kids now involved in having to move the elves. They both, like, Addie would do it once she found out, and then they both would do it just for fun. So we still have the elves, and it was so funny the other day. Aiden really he I was gonna have them brought from my house to, their dad's house because 'cause they're gonna celebrate Christmas with them early this year and then with me. And he's like, I know that it's okay, like, it's not really ruining the magic, but I still kind of hold off on wanting to touch the elves. I don't wanna ruin anything." It's so cute. He's 18, and he's like, "I don't wanna touch the elves and ruin the magic."
Cute. No, so for me, like, you know, first of all, like, I was really young when I found out no Santa, right? And I gotta say, at first, I, like, felt like, "Oh, I know something nobody else knows." But then there was a sort of a sadness, right, of the magic of it going away. And now, not looking I used to look out the window and look at the stars and say, "Oh, I think I see Santa." That was all gone. All that magic feeling was gone, and it was really sad, but uh, over time, you just enjoy getting the gifts, right? The gifts were the fun part. So it's
Yes.
like, okay, however I get the gifts, as long as I get the gifts, I'm fine. That's a child mentality. But now let's pan over to the elf on the shelf, right?
Yeah.
The part of being creative and moving that thing around wasn't the funnest part. For me, it was, you know what? Let me go talk to the elf on the shelf. You know, if Josh was
Yeah.
backtalking me, I love the
Yes.
power of the elf.
Yes. The power behind the elf on the shelf. I loved being creative, and I remember doing one called Selfies, and I wasn't unique because I after I did selfies with a capital S, capital E, Elfies, like selfies. I had them taking selfies of themselves. Other people did it, and there's, like, so many creative ways that people did that, but the power
The power of the
is
elf.
it was so real.
Yeah,
"Okay, you wanna do that? What do you think that's gonna happen when the elf goes back and talks to
definitely.
Santa?" Like, he's gonna report
That was
back,
so
and
fun.
it
I gotta say that was the fun
like,
part of it all.
especially with, oh my gosh, Aiden, no offense, Aiden, you're turning out to be just an amazing young man, but he definitely challenged us, and that was just like, oh, such a
That
nice,
was our
like,
power. That was the power,
way
right?
to
The power
handle
of the
it.
elf, right? So that part, I
Yeah,
do
and I
miss
have to
that
tell you,
part.
my parents, the other thing that was, like, kind of a neat, tradition that my parents would do, they didn't obviously didn't have the elf back then, but they would, have us open gifts from, like, family, like my aunt Janice or something like that, on Christmas Eve, and then on Christmas Day would be when Santa came, so gifts were wrapped under the tree for Christmas Eve, and then on Christmas Day, we usually, would come out and see, like, did we get coal or did we get, like, was there, like, some Christmas gifts in our future, and they would be unwrapped, but they would be kind of all out there, and I can remember Weeble Wobbles and, I can remember all kinds of fun gifts, and it was just a joyous time, but one year, my parents actually redid my whole bedroom. I'm talking like they put in a canopy bed, they had all
Wow.
this matching fabric, like a little table for me to sit and kinda get ready in the mornings. My mom had sewn all the fabrics and that sort of thing, and so what they did is in the middle of the night, they took me into another room and then did the furniture, and when I got up that next morning, I got up and I ran to the Christmas tree to see what I got. I totally missed the fact that they had redone my room, and I saw nothing new. I only saw the gifts from the night before, and I was literally looking for coal. I was thinking, "Oh my god, where what did I do wrong? Oh my
So
gosh,"
wait
and
a
my
minute, let's go
parents
back. You were sleeping in the room that they remodeled, and you didn't know?
I was
Oh,
sleeping, so they
god.
moved
Yeah,
me into another room, they remodeled the room, like,
and put you back in?
redecorated it,
Uh-huh.
and then they put me back in the room, so I literally woke up in this canopy bed that I did not have the night before, a canopy bed, and I went bolting out, like, going to the Christmas tree that morning just to look for, my gifts,
Funny, that's
saw
great.
nothing, and you could tell my parents were like, "Oh my god, poor thing is distraught." They, like, had to kinda, "Hey, why
Let's
don't you
walk you
go back
back
and
in
see
the
what
room.
maybe he left something in the room for you." And then I went back and I was, of course, like, amazed and so
Every girl
grateful and
wanted a
such
canopy bed, right? Every
oh,
little girl. Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Yeah, yeah.
great.
So
So
so,
now, before we do that, I know we talked about doing, like, the quick fire.
yeah,
Before we
yeah.
do that, like, what new traditions do you wanna add any new traditions this year with your family?
Well, I love the idea. I'm big on game night, so I love the idea of incorporating game night, but keep in mind that I get it the kids every other
Yeah,
year.
you guys do game night all the time. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we do game night all the time, but I do like the idea of Christmas game night. That sounds fun. And especially since I can't really move that much, the Alexa game, that might be a fun little new tradition. But obviously, anything joyous, fun, involving everybody. I do like, falling asleep with, like watching a movie together or something
Yep.
like that. That's kind of fun. But
I
yeah,
enjoy that too, like, popping in a holiday movie or whatever. Maybe, like, everybody writes their favorite movie, throws it into a little bucket, and then do Rochambeau, who's gonna pull out the movie, and that's the movie you watch, maybe, as a family. But, we do karaoke sometimes too, and I was thinking, "You know what? Maybe I have everybody write their favorite phrase on a piece of paper and crumple it up, put it into a little jar, then we pull it everybody reaches in and pulls out a phrase. It could be a phrase from somebody else, or you can say, "Do a phrase, crumble it up, pass it to the person next to you." And then we grab those phrases, and then we use the karaoke mic, and we do a hip hop song from the phrases.
I love that. And you just reminded me of one other tradition that we do. And this is something Jason and I started. We had gone to Tony Robbins event.
Yeah.
And one of the exercises he had us do was called "The Gift I See in You." And this is like you're basically
Oh, I
saying
love that.
the gift I see in you, but you'd say it to strangers, like, you not strangers, but people that you had been sitting kind of around and doing exercises with, and during the motivational stuff, and you kind of pick up a little bit about them. But what was so nice is we implemented this at Christmas time, and like with the other family, sometimes, there isn't always like the appreciation for one another. Like, his family might not always appreciate me or whatever. So, what was so nice is it really forced us to say, hey, this is what I see that's a gift in you. And
It creates more connection
we
between each
we
other.
wrote it down, and
Yeah.
everybody read it out loud, wrote what each person said. So each person would say, "The gift I see in you, Jen," right? And we'd write it down. So we'd kind of circle around, so everyone would get a chance to write in my little book, and I would get a chance to write in everybody else's little book. So we
Oh,
just
that's
circle around, and
cool.
so everybody had their own little book, and
Mhm.
then we would get to read out loud what everybody said about us, and it just everybody's bawling, right? It's the gift, and to me, a bigger gift than anything is
I
like
love that.
hearing what other people feel about you when you maybe aren't feeling, the love in general, or you're everybody's busy and they don't have time to stop and say
Yeah.
it like that. So I actually got cards made that say "The gift I see in you." So when I send thank you notes, sometimes I use those
That's
instead.
awesome.
But I think that's something that I need to like make sure that we
I
stay
love
on
that.
top of this year.
One of the things that I'm gonna take this away from Sue and her mom, one of the things that well, when we did the Jen Morgan, podcast, who, by the way, Jen Morgan has her book launched today, and it's pretty exciting, but one of the things that Sue brought up was it's called the God box. You remember she talked about that before with us, where, you have a God box, and if there's no way of opening the box, there's a slit on the top, and, you could decorate it however you want. So you could buy a box and you could seal it, you could decorate it, and then you give it as a gift. So I wanna give one for my mom, I wanna give one for my niece's family, I wanna give one to, I wanna make one for myself, I wanna give one to my sister and her husband, and my niece and her husband, one for Chantel, one for Josh. And it's called the God box. And you got a piece of paper, one of those little sticky notes things that you can put with it. And whenever you're having stuff that's really you can't get off your mind and you're stressed about, you write down on that piece of paper whatever you're stressed about, and you fold it up, and you put it in the slit, and you can't get it out. Once you put it in there, the idea is to release yourself from it, right? And
Oh,
if you constantly still have feelings, you just write it down as many times as you want, stick it in that box until you finally are done with it, and you're letting it go.
I love that.
Isn't
Okay,
that
so
awesome? The God
yes,
box.
thank you to our co-podcaster,
Suey,
extraordinaire, Sui. I think that I'm gonna incorporate the God box and, The Gift I See in You for sure,
I love
if
that.
not the Alexa game as well.
Yeah. Love it, love it. Well, let's jump into the quick fire if you want.
Okay,
I'll let you
yeah.
kick it off. Yeah, yeah.
All right. Tony, real tree or fake tree?
How about real and fake? I'm gonna make that a
Oh,
tradition going forward, put up my artificial in one room and a fake one in the other room.
I love it. well, you just said artificial in one and fake in
Well,
the
I
other,
mean,
so
fake and real. Sorry, fake and real.
yeah, I'm a big fan of the fake. I love the real trees, but
It's an
I just
ROI. That's the part I love. The
yeah.
satisfaction of just pulling it out of the box, right?
Oh, yeah, and especially if they already have the twinkle lights already
Yes,
set.
especially you
Yes.
have to have the lights.
Yep.
Okay, best holiday movie ever. I shared mine. Mine
Yeah.
is my favorite is the Family Stone. If you haven't
Okay,
watched it, you have to.
our family, I would say definitely Elf, but also A Christmas Story, and, coincidentally, Aiden looks a lot like the little kid in A
Yeah.
Christmas Story, so it's, like, kinda cute. We used to be like, "Okay, wait a minute," and he also coincidentally looks like the guy from, Show Me the Money. What's the Tom Cruise movie where he's the
Oh,
sports agent?
yeah.
Um,
What's that guy's name? Yeah, I know you're talking about though. The
anyway,
agent. Yeah.
the little
Yep.
kid in there is like, "Did you know the human head weighs, like, 8 pounds?" or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Aiden looks like that guy and the little kid in the A Christmas Story when he was growing up.
That's
But I
good.
would say Elf, A Christmas Story, and It's a Wonderful
I
Life,
totally
those
can
3.
see the elf for sure for you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Okay, and,
get back to
what's
wrapping paper, girl.
I I would say yes. I'm just gonna say yes
I'm a little
because
bit of both. I'm a
yeah,
little bit
that's
of
what I'm
both.
saying. That's
Yeah.
my point. Like, I can't say one or the other, so yes is my answer.
Yes is my answer too.
It just depends on the situation. Gift bags are obviously handy when you're, like, crunched
When you're in a
for
crunch
time.
time.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. All
Okay,
right.
so eggnog, yes or absolutely not?
I could take it or leave it.
I don't really have a yes or no to this, but I did have a friend who visited me when I was recovering just this last weekend, and she said she has a Christmas gift for me as long as I was okay with dairy. She makes her own homemade
Oh,
eggnog spiked, where it literally has to
wow.
sit there for like it because like she starts in October and lets it
What?
sit and it like whatever marinates and I
Holy.
cannot wait to
It
try her
preserves.
eggnog.
It preserves.
Yes, I can't wait to try that eggnog, but I could take it or leave it just like you.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never been, but yeah, I didn't make that a part of my plan, my holidays, but maybe a cocoa though, hot chocolate or like a peppermint chocolate. Yeah, I like that kind of stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Who eats the most at your holiday dinner?
Oh, I mean, is there a contest? I think me probably, but everybody probably like Aiden probably thinks he does, Addie probably thinks she does. I mean, we all eat a lot. We're all happy to eat.
I love just, yeah, it's festive, right? And you're gonna eat all the
Yes.
good stuff. So I'm,
It's
yep.
not it takes second place though to Thanksgiving because Thanksgiving comes without all the gifts and all that stuff pressure.
Hmm.
And I love mashed potatoes and turkey and gravy and like, I love all, of that food, so I'm sorry, Christmas, but you take second place to Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah. That, all right. Here's one.
And then,
Yes, your, yeah.
what's your
Yeah.
holiday superpower, girl?
Girl, you know what mine is? It's the spirit of holiday. That's my
Aw,
superpower. The spirit of holiday, meaning I play all the music, I play all the movies, especially the Hallmark ones, right? It may be cheesy, but it's the spirit. The spirit is it's the superpower. It's okay. We talk about this all the time. Mindset. Mindset's everything, right? The energy that you put out there. And if you embrace it, because people may complain and, oh, that's, Hallmark, blah, or, oh, holiday music again. It's like you choose that energy, you
yeah, I
choose
totally
that
agree.
spirit. I choose to enjoy it. That's my
I
superpower.
I love that. I'd say my holiday superpower is, I forgive myself for being lazy. Um And anyone else who wants to join the reindeer games of being lazy, I love just, yeah, I wanna make sure that we prepare that coffee cake, have that ready to go, but I love a lazy holiday where we're just enjoying each other's company. We're not there's no go, 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 go. I mean, yeah, we might go to a movie on Boxing Day, the day after. We might do something fun, but in general, just forgive ourselves for just sitting and enjoying each other's company and not having to, you know, dress to impress or just enjoy,
Yeah. Yeah,
the
totally.
time together.
Yeah. I think that's awesome. I love that. Um, sometimes you have to be, just easy on yourself, forgive yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with relaxing and enjoying yourself. People feel guilty, everybody has to be on all the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. So we're wrapping up the rapid fire. So what do we got next on the queue?
I think we'd like to know from everybody out there what's your holiday message, Tony, to the people listening to us.
Well, for me, a holiday message, I would say, because for men or women, right? I just say, listen, embrace it. Whenever we embrace the chaos, whenever we embrace like for we just talked about being lazy, right? And just relaxing, and there's nothing wrong with lazy. Lazy, to me, is like a bad word. I mean, it's called QT, quality time. It's called
Right.
relaxing. It's talk we talked about it with Dorina, breathe in and breathe out, inhale, exhale, right? So, my message would be is look around you, live presently, be in the moment with your loved ones, embrace it. This is both women and men out there, your kids and whatnot. Just embrace the time with the people you love. Put on that holiday music. Be okay to be, relaxing and enjoying. Eat that piece of pie. um, don't have that pie every single day, but enjoy it over the holidays, right?
Yeah,
Embrace
you know,
that music.
I love this message. It did make me think, though. I had a friend, I asked him, it was actually my friend Dave who came up to visit me this last weekend, what he did for Thanksgiving. He's like, oh, I just went and shot some golf and stuff like that. It turned out he was alone on Thanksgiving.
Oh,
So I think we do have our people out there who listen who might not have plans. And I wish Dave had reached out to me and just said, "Hey, what are you doing for Thanksgiving?" And I would have naturally said, blah blah blah. I'm doing this with my family or not or whatever. But I would naturally have said, "What are you doing?" And if he had said, I'm, I'm actually just going to golf or whatever, I would have without hesitation said, "Oh, why don't can you come up and have it with us?" Like I would have loved to have had the opportunity to extend an invitation to him, not knowing that, he didn't have anybody to be with. So for those out there who would like to be with people I can't obviously promise that everybody's going to, say, "Hey, come on by," but
but if you don't
ask them what they're
say it, because as
yeah,
people are
ask them what they're
yeah.
doing,
Mhm.
and if I think the natural progression would be there for them to ask, what you're doing and give people an opportunity to extend an invitation to your home if you feel like you want company, and reach out to those closest to you who know you and let them know if you kind of feel like you don't feel like being lonely this year. Because I definitely last year I was grateful. My kids were with Jason. My parents were in Colorado with my brother and his family. All of this no problem. But my girlfriend Amber hosted me, and I literally got to spend Christmas Eve with her and her family, and um, Christmas morning, and she got me an amazing gift. I mean, we obviously spoiled each other, but it was just lovely to at least, be there to wake up and be with the family, even if it wasn't my own. And then later that day, I got to go see my kids with Jason, and spend a little time with them. But I say reach out if you don't feel like being alone, reach out to your closest ones, ask others who live local or whatever, because I'm fairly certain most people would not want their loved ones to be alone.
No, exactly. And I think people have a hard time, opening up and saying that they're gonna be alone because they feel like they're probably gonna be burdening other people, or maybe there's some pride in there that they don't want people to know that they feel like they need to be with somebody. It's like, you know what? This is not the time to be that way. If you're feeling alone and you want to be with people, then reach out to the people that you know and ask them, to join if you could join them. I know that's a hard thing to do sometimes for people, but being alone, if you don't wanna be alone, is it's a hard thing, so try to make some time with, some people that you know, friends, family, whatever, right?
Yeah, and maybe
Yeah,
you don't want to see anybody, and that's also your
that's
prerogative.
okay too, right? Then put on
Yeah.
a movie, get on that couch, put that blanket around you,
Oh, yeah.
play some music, play that movie, eat that pie. But the one thing is give yourself grace, choose
Yeah.
peace whenever you can, right? And don't feel bad if you want to rest or you deserve that rest, you deserve that joy, you deserve to be alone if you want to be alone, but you also deserve to be surrounded by people that you feel loved by, and I don't think you should hold yourself from that.
Yeah. I think that ultimately, this has been a great episode, Tony. I really appreciate it. I loved, that just diving into some of the memories and that sort of thing. And
Yes.
I love the idea of even starting new traditions and definitely want to close this with as much love to our listeners and our
Yep.
people as possible. And I love you, Tony. I'm so
Love you
grateful
too,
that you're a
girl.
part of my life. And I'm so excited for you and your new milestone. Um, so
Yep. Well,
happy holidays.
Yeah, yeah. So from our table to yours, we're sending you some light love and a whole lot of laughter this holiday season. And Queen, don't forget to adjust your crown and breathe. You've got this. We love you guys. Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays. Love you guys.